Let me ask you something. What's the difference between you and the champion you admire? What separates the person who's living their dream from the one who's still wishing? It's not talent, luck, or even opportunity. It's mindset. It's what I call beast mode. Beast mode isn't just a switch you flip. It's a decision. It's the moment you stop saying I can't and start saying I will. It's when you stop looking for shortcuts and start looking for reasons to push harder. Right now, somebody out there is working while you're resting. Somebody out there is grinding while you're hesitating. The question is, are you ready to join them? Are you ready to stop being average and become unstoppable? Stick with me, because by the end of this speech, you'll have no doubt how to activate your beast mode and never turn it off. Every single person in this room has a fire inside them, a power so intense it could change their life. But for most of us, that fire is barely flickering. It's there, but it's weak. Why? Because we let fear, doubt, and excuses dim it. Let me tell you something. You were not created to be average. You were built for greatness, but greatness doesn't show up on its own. You have to go get it. You have to unleash the beast within. There's a version of you that's relentless, powerful, and unstoppable. That version doesn't settle for good enough. It doesn't back down in the face of obstacles. That version of you is a beast, but the beast isn't automatic. It's waiting for you to wake it up. Most people will never meet that version of themselves because they're too comfortable where they are. Comfort is the enemy. It keeps you stuck, makes you soft, and convinces you that you're doing okay when deep down you know you're capable of so much more. So let me ask you, what's holding you back? Is it fear? Is it laziness? Or is it the lie you keep telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow? Let me tell you something, tomorrow's not promised. The time to unleash your inner power is right now. But people think they need perfect conditions to start. They say, I'll go all in when I have more time, more money, more support. But the truth is, you have everything you need right now. The beast inside you doesn't care about excuses. It only responds to action. Every time you show up, every time you push past the pain, you're feeding that beast, making it stronger. But here's the hard truth. Unleashing your inner power isn't going to feel good at first. It's going to hurt. You're going to be tired, frustrated, and overwhelmed. That's when most people quit. But if you keep going, if you push through that discomfort, that's when the beast wakes up. That's when you become unstoppable. I think about the people you look up to, the ones who seem larger than life. You think they're special. They're not. They're just like you. The difference is they made a choice to stop playing small. They unleashed their inner power and they refused to let anyone or anything stop them. Here's what I need you to understand. The beast inside you is not a one-time burst of energy. It's a mindset. It's a commitment to being the best version of yourself every single day. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's working when everyone else is resting. It's refusing to settle for anything less than greatness. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. Flip the switch. Unleash your inner power. And once you do, there's no going back, because once the beast wakes up, it's unstoppable. Are you ready? Motivation is temporary. It fades the moment life gets hard, the moment you face rejection, failure, or pain. That's why so many people start strong and never finish. They rely on motivation to carry them, but here's the truth. Motivation is just a spark. It's purpose that keeps the fire burning. When you're driven by purpose, you don't just work hard when you feel like it, you work hard no matter what. Purpose is your why. It's the thing deep inside you that refuses to let you quit. It's bigger than a paycheck, bigger than a title, and definitely bigger than the opinions of others. It's what pulls you out of bed when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and what keeps you going when everyone else has given up. Without purpose, you'll find yourself going through the motions, living a life that looks fine on the outside but feels empty on the inside. Let me tell you something. Finding your purpose isn't about waiting for some magical moment of clarity. It's about asking yourself the hard question. Why are you here? What do you want your life to stand for? Who are you doing this for? Because when you find those answers, nothing can stop you. You stop caring about temporary discomfort because you know the work you're doing has meaning. The people who accomplish great things aren't always the smartest or the most talented, but they are the ones who are unshakable in their purpose. When they get knocked down, they get back up, not because they're motivated, but because their purpose won't let them stay down. When they face failure, they don't quit, they learn, adapt, and keep moving forward. That's the power of being driven by purpose. It makes you unstoppable. And think about this. Why do you think some people thrive under pressure while others fall apart? It's not just about strength or resilience. It's about having a reason to keep going that's so powerful it outweighs the pain, the fear, and the doubt. Purpose gives you focus. It's the compass that points you in the right direction, even when everything around you is trying to pull you off course. But here's the thing about purpose. It's not about you. The strongest purposes are always bigger than yourself. It's about your family, your community, the legacy you want to leave behind. When your purpose is rooted in something beyond your personal desires, it becomes unshakable. The challenges don't disappear. but they lose their power over you because you're not just fighting for yourself, you're fighting for something greater. If you're not driven by purpose, you're just drifting. You might work hard, but without direction, you'll never feel fulfilled. That's why it's so important to connect with your why. Once you do, you'll find a level of energy, focus, and determination you didn't even know you had. Purpose turns obstacles into opportunities. It turns failures into lessons. And it turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. So what's driving you? If you don't have an answer, it's time to find one. Because when you're driven by purpose, nothing is impossible. The grind is where greatness is born. It's the unseen, uncelebrated hours when no one is watching, no one is cheering, and no one cares about the effort you're putting in. Most people avoid the grind because it's uncomfortable, it's exhausting, and it doesn't come with instant results. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. The grind is where you separate yourself from the rest of the world. It's where champions are built one relentless step at a time. The truth is, everyone wants success, but very few are willing to endure what it takes to achieve it. The grind is where you do the hard things day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early, staying late, and putting in the extra reps when your body and mind are screaming at you to quit. It's doing the things that others won't, so you can have what others can't. Let me make one thing clear. The grind is not glamorous. It's lonely. It's repetitive. It's filled with moments where you question whether it's even worth it. But that's where the magic happens. Those who embrace the grind understand that every struggle, every sacrifice, and every ounce of effort is laying the foundation for something greater. They don't avoid the pain, they lean into it because they know that growth comes from struggle. Most people see the end result, the accolades, the success, the fame, but they don't see the grind that built it. They don't see the countless hours spent perfecting the craft, the failures that became lessons, or the sacrifices that paved the way. The grind isn't about instant gratification. It's about delayed rewards. And that's what makes it so difficult for most people to commit to it. When you embrace the grind, you learn discipline. You learn how to keep going when the excitement fades, when the obstacles pile up, and when everything inside you says stop. Discipline is what transforms potential into results. It's what turns dreams into reality. The grind teaches you resilience. It teaches you that setbacks are temporary and that your ability to keep moving forward is what truly defines you. Think about the greats, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the innovators. Do you think they got there by accident? No, they got there because they showed up every single day whether they felt like it or not. They embraced the grind because they knew it was the only way to achieve excellence. They didn't rely on motivation, they relied on consistency. The grind is not a punishment, it's a privilege. Every time you put in the work, you're investing in yourself and your future and in your legacy. And the best part, the grind doesn't just build success, it builds character. It transforms you into someone who doesn't back down, who doesn't make excuses, and who refuses to settle for anything less than the best. So the question is, are you willing to embrace the grind? Because if you are, there's nothing that can stand in your way. The grind isn't easy, but it's worth it. And if you commit to it, you'll discover that the person you become along the way is far greater than the person you were when you started. Life will test you. There will be moments when everything around you is falling apart, when the pressure is mounting, and when it feels like you can't handle any more stress. These are the moments that define you. Pressure doesn't break you, it reveals who you truly are. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they handle the pressure. Some crumble under the weight of it, while others lock in and thrive. In these high pressure moments, the key isn't to eliminate stress, it's to stay focused. Everyone faces challenges. No one is immune. But the people who win are the ones who can stay calm and keep their eyes on the prize when everything else is trying to pull them off course. They don't let distractions derail them. They don't let the noise, the doubts, or the setbacks shift their focus. They stay locked in on what they need to do and keep pushing forward. Focus under pressure isn't about avoiding problems or pretending everything is okay. It's about maintaining clarity when the world around you is chaotic. It's about knowing that even when things are tough, you can still move with purpose and intention. It's about controlling your mindset, not letting your circumstances control you. When the pressure's on, most people make the mistake of panicking. They start thinking about everything that could go wrong, all the obstacles they face, and the fear of failure. That's when the distractions take over and your focus breaks. But when you choose to stay focused on your goal, even under extreme pressure, your mind becomes sharper. You can cut through the noise and stay on course no matter what's happening around you. The ability to focus under pressure doesn't happen overnight. It's developed over time through repeated exposure to stress and adversity. It's something you build by putting yourself in challenging situations and learning how to stay calm and composed when the pressure is at its peak. The more you train your mind to focus, the stronger your ability to remain clear-headed becomes. Think about the most successful people in the world, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. When they're in the heat of the moment, they don't let the pressure break them. They find a way to block out distractions, center their thoughts, and perform at their best. They know that pressure is part of the game, and rather than fighting it, they use it to fuel their focus. The truth is, the pressure is never going to stop. It's part of the journey. You can't wish it a wish, and you can't avoid it. But you can choose how to respond to it. Will you let it overwhelm you, or will you embrace it as an opportunity to sharpen your focus and rise to the challenge? When you can focus under pressure, you become unstoppable because you've learned the art of working with stress instead of being controlled by it. So the next time life throws pressure your way, don't panic. Don't get lost in the chaos. Take a deep breath, center your mind, and focus on the task at hand. When you master the ability to focus under pressure, there's nothing that can stop you from reaching your goals. Everyone faces obstacles. It's part of life. But some people seem to have more than their fair share. They encounter setback after setback, failure after failure, and yet somehow they rise again and again. What separates them from everyone else isn't luck or special privileges, their ability to overcome the odds. In every adversity, there is an opportunity to rise, to grow, and to prove to yourself that nothing can keep you down for long. When you're facing a challenge, it's easy to feel like the world is against you. It's easy to believe that your situation is unique, that no one has ever been through what you're going through, and that there's no way out. But that's just the enemy of progress trying to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. The truth is, everyone who has ever achieved greatness has faced odds, and more often than not, they were greater than yours. What they did differently was keep going. They didn't stop when things got tough. They kept pushing forward, even when it seemed impossible. Overcoming the odds isn't about avoiding difficulty, it's about pushing through it. It's about having the resilience to stand up after each fall, to keep moving even when you feel like giving up. The odds don't need to be in your favor for you to succeed. You don't need perfect circumstances, perfect timing, or a perfect plan. All you need is the willingness to take one more step, even when everything inside you is telling you to quit. I think about the times you failed. You may have thought it was the end of the road, but those failures weren't your defeat, they were your foundation. Every time you fail and rise again, you get stronger. Every obstacle you overcome makes you tougher. The odds may seem insurmountable, but the truth is, the more difficult the battle, the sweeter the victory. You are capable of so much more than you realize. The biggest mistake people make when facing odds is letting fear control them. They let fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown hold them back. But fear is nothing more than a story your mind tells you. It's a lie meant to keep you safe in your comfort zone. The people who overcome the odds are the ones who refuse to listen to that voice of fear. They silence it with action. They face the fear, move through it, and come out on the other side stronger and more determined. No matter how many times you get knocked down, the key is to never stay down. You may stumble, you may fall, but as long as you rise again, you win. It's in the moments when life is at its hardest that your true strength emerges. It's in the darkest times that you discover just how bright your light can shine. When you keep going despite the odds, you're not just proving the world wrong, you're proving to yourself that there's nothing you can't overcome. So no matter what you're facing, remember this, the odds are just another obstacle for you to conquer. They're not a sign that you should quit, they're a sign that you're on the right path. When you embrace the challenge and refuse to let anything stand in your way, you'll realize that the odds were never against you, they were simply the test that made your victory even more powerful. You are stronger than any challenge, tougher than any obstacle, and more capable than you've ever known. The odds don't matter when you refuse to give up. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They are the comfort zone that allows people to avoid taking responsibility for their own success. You've heard them all before. I don't have time, I'm not good enough, it's too hard. But the truth is, none of these excuses are real. They're just stories you tell yourself to avoid putting in the work. The most successful people in the world don't make excuses, they make results. They focus on what they can do, not what they can. The reality is there's no shortage of time. There's no shortage of opportunities. The only shortage is your willingness to act. We all have 24 hours in a day, but how we use that time determines whether we succeed or fail. If you're constantly making excuses for why things aren't happening, you're wasting your time. Every minute spent on an excuse is a minute you could have spent working toward your goal. Instead of focusing on why it can't be done, focus on how you're going to do it. Results come from taking consistent action, not from waiting for the perfect moment or for things to fall into place. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do. It's easy to dream about success and wish for things to change. But the difference between those who talk and those who succeed is that the successful ones take action. They don't wait for the conditions to be perfect. They don't sit around complaining, and they don't waste time making excuses. They show up every single day, put in the work, and stay committed to the process even when it's tough. When you stop making excuses, you stop giving yourself an out. You stop giving yourself the option to quit. The world doesn't care about your excuses. Your dreams won't come true if you keep putting them off. The only way to make progress is to take responsibility for your actions and your results. Every failure, every setback is a lesson in disguise. It's part of the process. But if you're too busy making excuses, you'll never learn those lessons and you'll never get closer to your goal. Let's face it, life is never going to be easy. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and reasons to give up. But if you want to succeed, you have to make the decision to keep going, no matter how hard it gets. The people who achieve greatness aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who embrace it and use it as fuel to keep moving forward. When you commit to no excuses, only results, you take full ownership of your journey. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or bad luck. You focus on what you can control, your actions. And when you consistently put in the work, results follow. It's not about luck. It's about relentless effort. So ask yourself, are you making excuses or are you getting results? Are you going to let your fears and doubts hold you back? Or are you going to push through and impress yourself that you're capable of anything? The choice is yours. But remember, success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who actually commit to the grind, take responsibility, and focus on results no matter what. If you want success, stop making excuses and start making results.